Hello everyone, welcome to my first real YouTube video. I know I had the introduction video a couple weeks ago. Today I'm going to be showing you some of the apps that I have used that can help you build what they call a second brain, help you stay organized, help you stay productive. So while I am new-ish to the world of productivity and being productive, these are some apps that I have really enjoyed using that have helped me become more productive and get more things done, and I'm just hoping that putting out this video might help some other people kind of get their own productivity system underway so that they can continue to move the needle forward while not feeling super overwhelmed. A second brain is essentially somewhere where we can store all of the thoughts that we have. So if you go by Tiago Forte's definition, it's something that encompasses our projects, areas of our lives, resources such as notes and videos, and then archives, which is anything that is completed that we might want to refer back to, but just to kind of get it away, we kind of archive it and set it aside. There is a quote by David Allen that basically says our brains are for having ideas, not storing them. The reason that you kind of feel overwhelmed and stressed out and behind and like you're always forgetting things is because, well, your brain is constantly having these new ideas and you're not really storing them anywhere or keeping track of anything, so they end up just disappearing and then you forget, and then you don't recall until it's too late or until you're kind of under the gun with having to get things done. So the process that I like to use is called the CODE process, which stands for capture, organize, distill, and express. In the capture, we are writing down everything that comes to our brain. In the organizing, we are splitting it up into the areas that it belongs, so whether it goes under the areas or if it goes under notes or if it goes under projects or if it's just a standard to do, it always ensures that it is set into the right area so that we can always refer back to it whenever we need to or when the time comes for us to actually do the thing. So capture apps are pretty self-explanatory. It's basically anything that allows you to write down and keep track of things. For me, I use just Apple Notes now because I can access it on my desktop, I can access it on my laptop, I can access it on my phone, I can access it on a tablet. You can access it really anywhere. Another good one obviously would probably be Google Docs, or Notion is another favorite of mine as well. One tool that I have found very useful for capture has been VoicePal, which is an app by Ali Abdaal and some of his team. It allows you to essentially take voice notes, but then it goes a step further and helps you expand on ideas using an AI assistant. For organizing, we have three different parts. We have a calendar, we have a to-do list, and we have a read it later app. For me, the calendar, I keep it simple. I use Google Calendar. I have tried Notion Calendar. I think it works great, especially if you're working in a full Notion system, but I just don't do that anymore, so I just have dumbed it down to just the regular Google Calendar. This is where you put anything and everything. If you make plans, if you are planning to just do some kind of work at any particular time, you make sure you block it off in your calendar. That way you don't forget, and it helps you stick more to a routine and a schedule. The to-do list app that I use now actually just recently switched over from Things 3 over to Todoist. They do essentially the same thing. I only switched to Todoist because I do use a Windows desktop most of the time, and Things 3 is strictly iOS based, so I wasn't able to bring that up on my desktop to see what I needed. I always needed to be grabbing my phone, and I don't really like to use my phone first thing in the morning or while I'm working. I try to not have it near me. Another one that I used to use a lot was also Notion. Again, like I keep saying, Notion's an amazing, absolutely amazing all-in-one. It just didn't work exactly the way that I felt worked best for me. So if you can get away with using Notion for everything and that feels best to you, absolutely 100% go for it. I just found that personally it didn't really flow as well for me as these other ones could have. And then for my Read It Later app, I actually use Matter. It's very much similar to Readwise, but I believe it's just a little bit cheaper. I also just enjoy the interface a little bit more. Those I use for articles, email newsletters, videos, anything like that, to refer back to them when I have time. I also find myself using just the Watch Later playlist on YouTube. And again, Notion also has a Save to Notion Chrome extension that you can use for a Read It Later type thing too. For distilling, that one's fairly simple. You can either take notes and keep them in your capture area in a specific notes section. You can keep them in a specific session in Notion. You can also just highlight them in your Read It Later app, and most Read It Later apps will take your highlights and consolidate them into just like a key points area, so you can go through and distill down the information, find your key takeaways from it, make action items from those, and maybe even teach it to other people to help you learn that information better. And on the topic of learning information better, we finally come to the last one, which is Express. And this is basically teaching other people these things that you have learned and that you are trying to work on yourself. So whether it be friends, family, colleagues, teammates, anything like that, there has been research done showing that just trying to teach other people something that you're learning also helps you learn and understand it better, because obviously you have to then be able to answer their questions as to why do we do this. So it makes you dig even deeper into these topics to be able to understand and learn them better. So I will leave you with this. Some closing thoughts is it does take a little bit of time to kind of figure out your own second brain and what really works for you. These are just apps that I recommend that I have tried that have worked for me. Maybe not the exact workflow, but they have been very useful for me. And I just recommend that everybody try some variation of all of these, whether you do the Google Calendar and Todoist and Apple Notes, or if you are just an all-in-one Notion user. Everybody likes different things. It's just a matter of experimenting and trying it out and seeing what works for you and what really sticks and what makes sense for your thought process and how you work. So thank you for watching. I don't really have any other videos that you can watch right now. I'll try to get some up and maybe add something here. But in the meantime, if you liked the video and found it helpful, please absolutely like it. If you are using or experimenting with any other apps that I didn't mention here, I know there are probably some that I have forgotten or have never used before. Please feel free to mention those down below as well. Subscribe if you want to see more, and thank you very much. Have a good one.